What's up, lads and ladettes? How are we all doing today? I hope you guys are doing fantastically well. So today's little video is just a little bit of an updatery video, but we're also going to be doing a little bit of a hunt. We got 100 PED, but we're only aiming to kill 50 Kerberos today because we are after our daily tokens. Because daily tokens make me happy, okay? I like getting my daily tokens because they are able to give me strong weapons without me needing to fork out a whole bunch of money. It's good. It's just stuff that I can keep a hold of. So this one is the Daily Hunting Challenge 1. So we're just going to get the one token. But it's Kerberoses. I like killing Kerberoses. So today I want to talk about just sort of where I've been, what's been going on. And starting with, I have been sick. So some of you guys might have seen that I was in hospital with my daughter. She had influenza B. Well, as soon as we got out of the hospital, I got influenza B. And I don't know if you can hear it, but I've still got a little something. And it makes it kind of rather difficult to actually record videos because it feels like I've got this sort of lump in my throat. And it's just not very fun. It's not very fun at all. In fact, it's rather annoying. And I was going to hold off until I was 100% better, but I really wanted to get stuck in and start talking about various things that have been happening in-game and talk about things that have just been happening in general. So that's the only update from me when it comes to different stuff. I've been sick, now I'm better. Hooray for me. So let's talk about some of the stuff that's been happening in-game. Starting with Entropia Universe is on Steam now. Which is really cool. I like the fact that they're actually branching out to different platforms, like Steam. Hopefully they'll go to the Epic Game Store once Unreal 5 kind of, hits its thing. But considering they've gone to Steam, I don't know how much they'll be willing to go to different platforms, but I think the more platforms that MindArt can actually take Entropia Universe to, the more eyes will be on the game itself. And now you might be thinking, yeah, more eyes on the game, we're going to have more players, but we're going to have a whole lot of people that are just going to come in and then are going to leave because of one reason or another. Usually because, they get into the game and they realize that the game costs money. Now, I think that we're not giving people just sort of enough credit. I think there's going to be plenty of people that look at the game and see that it's a real cash economy and go, huh, okay, interesting. So if I put in like $10 a week, I could do the various activities in game, hunting, mining, crafting, and then I can build up a little bit of a thing over time, and I get to work on an avatar in a sci-fi game. That's pretty cool. I think there's going to be a few people that are like that. There's not going to be as many like hardcore gamblers and all that sort of stuff. I think it's going to be more players that actually see the interest in a real cash economy, in a player-driven economy, and also in like a sci-fi kind of world. I think people are gonna. I think a lot of people are actually gonna dig that, but I could be 100% wrong. I will be the first person to say that being wrong is something that just tends to happen, especially with me. But I'm hoping that people actually get on board and enjoy the game in the same way that I enjoy the game, which is as a video game and not a way to make money. I mean, yeah, of course, you can make money in the game if you wanted to, if you put the time and effort, and those two things go hand in hand, time and effort. It's very important to, to understand that those things go into turning Entropia Universe into something lucrative for an individual, for a sole trader, and all that sort of stuff. And it also takes money to start and all that jazz. But I'm hoping that a lot of people just view it in the same vein that I view it in, which is just a fun sci-fi game where you collect loot, you collect guns, armor, you kill mobs. There are world events, because there are events. Like there's events that happen all the time where you have to interact with other people to do things. Like here at Fort Lahar, there's the robot, sort of the robot incursion, the robot invasion that happens. And you do that, and then there's a big boss, and sometimes that boss has like a lot of goods, like has a big old loot on it. You know, sometimes it doesn't, but you know, sometimes it does. And I think you also get like a little tiny buff for doing that mission. It's like doing that event. It's kind of cool. There's also daily missions that I'm going to be getting into in a future video. I'm going to get into about the daily, like some of the daily missions, because there are some that I've discovered that I think are really cool that I kind of want to sort of add into my daily repertoire. But you know, it might not happen. Ooh, someone found a rare Dornemouth Fang. Nice. So another thing that I'm going to have to do at some point, head over to Next Island or Ancient Greece. You know, hunt some Dornemouth. See how that goes. Might even try to unlock the Moloch Depths, because the Moloch Depths have the Titan armor. I think it's the Titan armor. You know, the one that has like 60 in like impact, and I think it's got a couple of others like impact, cut, stab, and maybe penetration. I forget, or it might just be those. I don't know, but it's really good. Really expensive armor. You know, that's like finding actual treasure. You know, so, which is always fun. It's always fun when you find something that's unlimited, that's sought after. It's like finding actual treasure. Like finding like whenever you're hunting noosels and you loot a whip. That's always fun. So one thing that I'm going to be doing over the next week is I'm going to be starting a new player guide. Just to, you know, help out the new players, help out some of the newbies. And if you are a new player that is looking for information on stuff, feel free to, you know, talk to me in game. It's Rylus Vengar. You can just look up Rylus and I'm sure you'll find it. Rylas. I'm sure you'll find it. In fact, I might even be able to pull up my... yeah, Rylus Vengar. Hopefully you can see that. You can always pause and then try to find me. But you can always message me in-game if you have a question about something. But I'm going to be doing a new player guide, which is going to be sort of touching on, you know, hunting, mining, crafting, keeping your loot aside, saving up your loot. It's also going to be going over progression, so like combat progression. At what point do you move on to a different mob? Or should you just continue to grind at the mob that works for you? You know, there's going to be a lot of different stuff. It's going to be a nice little series, just to help out people that are starting. You know, showcasing the AI missions and daily missions and things like that, just to help people get started. You know, because there's a lot in this game that I feel there's not enough of a real centralized hub of knowledge, if that makes sense. Because there are a lot of places that people can go and essentially play for free, or can play without losing anything, especially when it comes to doing like daily missions. Like Next Island is great because you can go to Next Island and there are daily missions that you can do that in the long run you'll end up getting more than what you put in TT wise, if that makes sense. Like if you were to do the daily Papo containment, hey look, some Hamaros. If you were to do the 98 of them, that's pretty good. If you were to do the daily Papo containment thing, if you were to do that every day, right, I think you get around about 10% of what it costs to do that mission. You get back in, like, you get 10% of what it costs in oil thereabouts. I think that was kind of the math. I'm gonna have to like check on that, sort of, you know, rejig it a little bit. but you can essentially do that every day, and in the long run, especially if you get to your 95% return TT value, in the long run, you'll end up making an extra 5% just in the value of oil on top of what you put in. It's really good. It's really, really, really good. But of course, like, a lot of people aren't going to notice it, because they're like, oh, it's just a little bit of extra oil, and then they go on and they do, you know, their other activities that they want to do. But I'm really looking forward to doing, essentially, as big of an information dump as I possibly can for, like, probably over the span of about 10 to 20 videos, I think it's going to be. There's just going to be a lot of stuff. There's going to be a lot of things that people can jump in and sink their teeth into and go, okay, this is my plan, I'm going to do this, and see how things go. And, you know, I'm also going to talk about mission chains and all that sort of stuff, because there might be new players that are like, you know, I'm putting in, you know, X amount of dollary dues a month in ammunition. I'm going to go and do I'm going to do the Zora's HK Epic, or I'm going to go and do the Ambassador mission chain on Cyrene and get myself that frickin' BLP gun or whatever. I think it's a S1X4 that you can get from doing that mission, which, you know, is pretty cool. I think you also get a club. There's a few different things. I actually want to do that just so I can get those things, which I probably should at some point. I'm not sure if I'm actually going to or not, but it could be good. But yeah, we actually finished our mission, which is really good, and we used just over 50 PED of uni ammo. Let's convert that, and so we have about 31, like, yeah, about 30 and a half PED in usage, I guess you could say, after converting the shrapnel. Let's see what we get back in our actual loot. We actually got a decent variety of stuff. So we got some animal muscle oil, some diluted sweat, soft hide, thin wool, component stuff, basic material, mineral extractor. So it looks like we got we're down about 10 PED. But of course, the way these things happen is that will happen a few times, and then, you know, you get like a global or a HOF or whatever, and then it goes back up. But these are all stuff that's just going to go straight into my storage. Hell yeah. Merge all that stuff. Any new things? Nope. So, you know, we're building up a little tiny supply of things. And I'm probably going to do a little bit of mining later to start building things back up again. You know, I'm quite happy with where I am at the moment when it comes to my stuff in game. I'm actually quite happy with where I am at the moment. You know, I've got this exceptional BC-30 modified. I've got my frontier weapons. I've got, you know, 2,500 PED worth of universal ammunition. I've got stuff in my storage. I've got over 1,000 PED on my PED card. Things are going really well. And if I felt like just going out and making, you know, getting extra PED, I could always just go to Entropia and grind out some oil if I wanted to. And oh, there is a that event that I was talking about. But I do not feel like doing the event at the momento, so I'm going to go back to Camp Icarus and probably just kill some burriclids and stuff. But yeah, there's been a whole mess load of different stuff that's been happening in game, which I think is really cool. Lots of new players coming in. You got the Steam launch, or you got the Steam. You know, the game launching on Steam, which is really cool. I love it. I love it. It's great. Well, I'm going to be leaving it there, guys. Thank you very much for hanging out with me. We are going to, continue on, continue on trucking, continuing on. You'll take care, stay safe, and let me know. Have you noticed the uptick in new players? And let me know. What have you been up to in game? Tell me about stuff. It's been a few weeks. I miss you guys. You'll take care, stay safe, and I'll see you all in the next one.